Real service, real.
Okay, we knew we had some audio issues on the Facebook Live, but we tried things. We didn't know how to fix it, and apparently it got fixed. I don't know. Maybe just talking bad about it got it going. But if you did miss that, we do the first half. We have had on Mixler. You can go back and watch or listen to the recording. So if you missed anything and you wasn't listening on Mixler or on the radio, you can go back and listen to it when we get done. But going to Gina Giants basketball, Giants are now 12-6 as they lost tonight at Tioga. They're currently ranked number 13 in the power ratings. They won against Grant last night, 59-41. They had Zach Brown score 21 points, made 2 threes in the game, had a very good night. Britton Johnson had 10 points off the bench, played very well. Daniel Hatcher had 8 points. Xavier Brown had 8 points. Titan Smith with 4. Gus Morphus with 3. Silas Powell with 3. And Zadrian Cooper with 2. Cooper only having 2, which they played a zone at times in the first half. Seemed like it was really kind of trying to neutralize our post players, Hatcher and Cooper. But Zach Brown picked up the slack, had a big night, 21 points. Buckeye game. We lose a close one. It was tough. I felt like at times you seen the guys like they were kind of getting back.
There were some flashes there.
Yeah.
Some hope. Yeah.
But I will say I came away from that game really just more impressed with Buckeye. I knew they were good, but I didn't realize they were that good.
I think Buckeye's trying to close out the season with 7 straight wins.
Yeah, very good team. And I think we now have our special guest, Marshall Leffler. Marshall, you there?
I'm here.
Man, it's good to hear from you. It's been a while since we've talked to you.
Yeah, I'm actually watching some Gina Giants basketball right now. About 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Tioga's got about a 25-point lead over the Giants. But yeah, it's I've been keeping up with the show and of course keeping up with the athletic program. But it's easy to do with the way that y'all keep everybody informed on Giant athletics. But yeah, good to be with y'all.
So you're saying the game is not over with Gina and Tioga?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I saw where Fast Break ENT made a post on Facebook, but that may have been something from her past or something.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just left there a couple minutes ago, and it was when I left. There was about 4 minutes left, so it may have ended since I left.
Oh, okay. Hey, me and you were kind of talking this morning. Tioga is a fun team to watch. They are very good. You got Kervin Johnson. You've got that small guard. I can't remember his name, but he can shoot from outside.
Caden Hardy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew tonight would be tough.
Yeah, and those have been, those two guys have been, obviously, like that's who you kind of thought would be the impact guys coming into the season. But the rest of their starting 5 and really like into their 6th and 7th, part of their rotation has really stepped up. Like, they're big and athletic. And, they got a big win in the Charles Smith Classic. And, yeah, they've got some signature wins here this season.
Well, I didn't plan to get into this, but let's talk about a Tioga team that's in Division I Select. Every time I feel like we talk about Tioga as far as football or just any sport, we go back to that. That's such a tough division to be in because they're very top and they're on the select side. But how well do you think they do when it gets playoff time in that division?
Like, I think putting it simply, and this may be too simply, I would say, Austin, like the exact narrative that we would say about this past football season for them would apply to basketball too. Like, wow, like a lot of great regular season wins, a good record, a really good, like top, 6 power rating or, something like that, power ranking. But then you just this realization of, man, they're in Division I Select as a 4A school, and then they ran into Rummel, and that was where their football season ended. The basketball team is the same way. They don't necessarily have a 5A roster like we mentioned. Hardy, he's 5'5", 5'6", and he's such a good shooter that it's not a problem for him. But they make it work with a 4A roster, and once they get in the playoff bracket, things are just I wonder if things will look the same way, like they did with football, where all of a sudden they're running into just supremely talented 5A schools. But a good team and a great power ranking with a great record, just like football. It's just you almost forget that bracket that they're in.
Yeah, to me, the question is, how do you get out of that division? I mean, what do you do if you're Tioga? Or I don't know how you fix that problem for Tioga.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just been so much shift around. In Alexandria in particular, Alexandria Pineville, with the way that Bolton Academy's kind of changed their academic model, it's made a lot of families in Alexandria just make different decisions about where they go to school. And one of the results of that instantly is that now Peabody is a 5A school going into next year. So from an academic standpoint, Peabody's done great things in Alexandria for a long time, and they should be able to handle that enrollment, very well. But from an athletic standpoint, their football team is all of a sudden in 2-5A. Their basketball team who already travels a little bit going to Franklin Parish and Wassman. They're in that district with Ruston and West Monroe. And so, and then baseball obviously isn't a program that they've had a ton of success. And that's just talking about the boys sports, but and a lot of that applies to the girls sports as well. But that's kind of where Tioga is the school has just done so well campus wide that, they're right at the top of that 4A line. And, of course, Asham and Pineville are both 5A, but it's a good problem to have when you have people that want to select your school, but they're just right there on that line. I know Grant, they're back in 3A, but Grant had to deal with that in 4A for a few years as well. So the line's got to be somewhere. Neville is right on it. Sterlington, Oak Grove, Tioga, schools like that are right on it. It can really change how playoff brackets look in some of the sports that we cover.
Yeah, because I feel like we get really excited about Tioga, and then playoff time comes around, and you're like, oh man, they just got some tough games,
Yeah, but the LHS, we've got a lot of playoff brackets, so
yeah,
so at the end of the day, somebody's got to end up coming out of that bracket, and everyone else has got to take a loss at some point. But great basketball team. It'll be fun to watch them.
So, how many times have you had a chance to see the Giants? Have you seen them before tonight?
Yeah, I was able to make it out to the Holiday Classic, and one other game. I have some video on my phone. I forget who the opponent was. It was one win and one loss, and then tonight's game against Tioga, which Tioga won. So I got to see him early on, and then a little bit tonight as well.
Just kind of give us your thoughts on the Giants, what you've seen so far.
Well, I mean, they really hung with Tioga in the first half tonight, as far as staying there within, a manageable distance just because of their speed from their guards. And similar to Tioga, they've got some height in the post, and then they've got some fast guards on the perimeter. Cooper, he, certainly looks good in warm-ups, and he, made great plays all fall on the football field. He's been, he's really helpful for them because defensively he's been able to match up against a lot, like Bunky, that would be a matchup very similar, starting fives. You got a big post player, but then you got some fast guards as well. So Cooper has been really nice for them to just have at the beginning of the game, just his presence there. And I think the Browns, being able to kind of just keep that speed relentless. And Hatcher plays basketball similar to the way he does football, just makes smart decisions, knows how to, create space in tight spaces. Gena's one of those schools where basketball starts late for them. This year was definitely no exception with as late as some of their football players were still playing football. But, Gena does with a lot of really kind of in a lot of teams in this district, a solid starting five. And a lot of what you're trying to do during the season is develop depth. Even the top of that 2-3-8 district, those teams are still trying to develop. What do we do when we get into the 6th, 7th, 8th part of our rotation? And I think that's what Gina has been, Coach Whitman's been working on with them from what I can see this season.
Yeah, we have more depth than we had last year, but our depth is more of our younger players, kind of our next group that when this group of seniors graduates, that's going to be the guys we have to rely on. It's kind of our sophomore group that kind of rotates in. But, yeah, Zach and Xavier Brown at the guards, I mean, they've been starting since freshmen. We've just been able to rely on them because even though they're not real big, they're just so steady with the ball. They don't turn it over. They're very good on defense. They can defend anybody that they go against, but it's just really nice to have them. If you get into a situation where things are tough, it seems like they always make a tough basket or they get a stop, and it's just been a joy watching them over the years.
Yeah, I think twice tonight they went back-to-back on offense. One scored a bucket. Gina got a stop, and the other one came down and scored, and then it happened again, a quarter later. But I mean, any time that you can have that sort of depth, because if you look at Peabody, if you look at Marksville, you look at some of the top teams in Cenla, they're going to press, and the more people you have that can help out, the less you have to worry about what else they can do. Because if you have someone that can press, then there's minutes for you. The best coaches in our area demand the guys guard. So with the way that Gina's kind of brings that energy on defense, it's been helpful for them. It's led to a lot of wins for them because they don't necessarily just overpower people in the layup lines, but just with that ability to just relentlessly be fast. Basketball's one of those sports where that comes in handy.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Marksville. They're 22-4, the number one team in Division III non-select. We have them on Friday. I have my opinion on why Marksville has been so good with this group over the last few years. But tell me what you kind of think. You've been able to see them a couple times this year. I haven't seen them in person this year, but kind of give me your thoughts on Marksville and what makes them so good.
I mean, I think the main thing that makes them as good as they are, and this is over, not just this season because there's a lot of new things in Marksville basketball, but it's Bam Lavallee. He's just so reliable and so steady on both ends of the court, whether they're fast breaking, whether they're slowing it down, whether, regardless of what they're doing on defense, he can guard several positions. He leads the fast break, or he tells them, or he helps set up their offense. He was huge for them as a freshman when they won state. Obviously, he was a big part of their runner-up team last year. But to me, it starts and ends with what Devin Lavallee does. Just because of how much he can kind of control and command the game. I mean, obviously, without question, adding both Coach Benjamin and Armani Benjamin in that locker room this year has been huge. And he deserves every ranking and every accolade that he's earned because he's just an incredibly talented player. But as far as the way the chemistry goes and the way that they want to carry out what Coach Oki wants, I think that Bam is just a huge reason of that. And then the rest of their starting lineup as well. Mention Armani, but Jaden Price, who was along with Armani part of that receiving corps during football season. He's been really just dynamic on offense. He can do a lot of things early on in games. Dane Small is the same way. He can shoot the three. He can break you down off the dribble. He's a very, very smart player. He'll get a lot of assists, and he's in the right spot all the time. And then Devon Hayes is their man in the middle. He's their other senior along with Armani. He can erase shots at the rim. He's a great matchup for Zadrian. As far as two post players go, they'll match up well together. But it's a really high standard over there. They practice intense. They expect the most out of their guys. With Benjamin teaming up with what Lavallee and Small and Price and Vaughn had already built, just kind of an extension of Coach Oki and his staff too. It's not just him; they've got a great coaching staff. If you look at the names on that staff, but they just kind of put it all together this year, and it's a different team. But we've seen what Marshall's done the past few years on the hardwood.
Yeah, to me, even if Coach Benjamin doesn't come in and he doesn't bring his son with him, Marksville is still going to be very good and be one of the favorites to win it all. But then you just add them, and it takes them to another level where they've been competing against teams across the state, any division. In my opinion, I say you're exactly right. It starts with Bam Lavalley. I mean, when he was in 8th grade, I think he led in scoring in the game against us, and it was just putbacks. He set under the rim. He would get the rebound, put it back in, and I think he ended up with like 20 points as an 8th grader. And I thought we've been watching him forever. But to me, it's how unselfish that Marksville group is. They all anybody could be the leading scorer any night, and they all, I don't know, it's like they just put their ego aside and they're all willing to play good defense, to share the ball. And to me, it starts with Lavalley. I mean, he's not a me kind of guy. He's all about the team, and he leads by example with that. And then to me, an underrated player for them is Dane Small. Anytime we've played against them, when I think we've got something going, we may go on a run or something, Dane Small always stops it. He either makes the basket or he gets a stop on defense. He is just a very underrated player that he makes the winning plays a lot in a game. And at the end of the game, it may not show up in the stat sheet. Like he may not have the most points, but he's the guy that really kind of turned the momentum in the game. Anytime we've played them, I've always been impressed with Dane Small. But they're fun team to watch.
A few games he has been the leading scorer. When they beat Ash early on, he was the killer in the second half. I don't know if he was the leading scorer that game, but he was the offensive killer. He can do a lot. I mean, he's a really good three-point shooter. Off the dribble, he's not going to turn it over. He knows when to make the right pass. And he's that kind of guy, like, just stone-faced. Like, when you get down in the finals of basketball, you see a lot of low-scoring games because people don't shoot as well in the big gym, and everyone just kind of gets nervous. He is tailor-made for big games like that. His demeanor is just all about making the next play, making the right play. I agree with you completely from what I've done watching him. And really that's kind of the whole Marshall brand, because even when the Benjamins were at Charter, they played together in AAU, and they grew up together, in Evolis Parish, just being family members and friends. So the standard and the expectation is there. If, as much as we talk about what Dane Small does, there's somebody, behind him on the bench that would take his job in practice any day. And that goes for anybody in that lineup. Benjamin doesn't get special treatment at all. Bam has known that coaching staff most of his life. And again, it's just all business. The way that the Benjamins came into Marksville and fit into what they were already trying to do. There wasn't a rebrand. It was just, oh, look, we all know what to do. Let's just all put on the same colors and do it together. So, yeah, it's been fun to watch. And I agree. Dane Small is very underrated because he's such a smart and just tough and unselfish player.
Well, we played Buckeye this past Friday, a tough loss for us, but I came away from that game. Now, Coach Morey, to me, is one of the best coaches in the state. I've always loved watching Buckeye play. But I was impressed with how good they were this year, because a lot of people, you don't hear much talk about Buckeye, even though they're having a great year. But I was impressed with Tucker Graves, Logan Futch. They played very well against us, and man, they got some guys that can shoot from the outside. Kind of talk about Buckeye.
Yeah, so I mean, if you watch, I agree with you on Morris Kluzicek, and he's just yet another coach from the Gene Rushing coaching tree. He played for Coach Rushing at LC, and just if you look all over the state, y'all know it up there, Gina. Y'all have coaches there that play for Coach Rushing. So his coaching tree continues to grow, and it shows with Buckeye. If you ever looked at Bellarmine basketball on YouTube, it's kind of similar. Not a lot of dribbles. Buckeye is content to pass, cut, and fill until they get the look that they want. It's usually a layup off of a screen, a back cut, or it's a three ball. And as long as I've known anything about Buckeye basketball, they've always been able to shoot from outside out there. So the kind of basketball that he's taught fits their roster, and they can spread teams out. And there's no shot clock in high school, so when you're going against a more athletic defensive team, a lot of them don't want to guard you for 40 seconds. You don't get bailed out by a shot clock. You've got to continue to guard. And so Buckeyes just going to continue to screen, pass, and cut away until they get a look that they want. And credit to their guys like Fletch. I love watching what he does. Graves as well. But really a lot of it. Number 3 in their starting lineup, number 1, number 2, number 10. Again, it's a lot of smart basketball. Who wouldn't want to play for Coach Morey, just the way that he mentors and sets an example for those guys and teaches them how to play basketball the right way. And they've got a good winning streak during the regular season, and they've probably upset some teams, depending on who you ask. Again, that's kind of another one of those crazy brackets. They're in D2 Select, which is hard to fathom that they're in there with Archbishop Shaw, but here we are. But yeah, I mean, just a great brand of basketball. And a lot of their guys play baseball too, and they had a 20-win season last year. So some good athletes at Buckeye, and I love the way that they play basketball. It's just no wasted dribbles, which is how Coach Rushing always liked it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You have to defend them for 40 seconds because they don't turn the ball over. They're going to get their shot. It's just whether they make it or not. And against us, they made 10 threes. Gabe Brown, he had 3. He had 14 points. That's number 3. And then even Fitzback had 11 points. He had 2 threes. So they're just, when their shots are falling, they're tough to beat.
Yeah. You can fight through a screen once, you can fight through a screen twice, but after that 4th or 5th one, and then you turn right around and there's another screen, you might give up, and that's what they're waiting for you to do. So they're a lot of fun to watch.
Well, this will be the last thing. Let's kind of talk about the Sinlot area, which boys basketball, we still got one more week to play next week, but it's getting close to playoff time. Who are some contenders from the Sinlot area that you think can play for a state championship?
Well, I mean, I think Marksville, again, just that's not a tough call just because you got to look at the playoff brackets recently and look who they still have. Again, a really, really good coaching staff, a really good roster. Can Marksville develop depth? In other words, if I was Gina, if I'm playing Marksville tonight or on Friday, I'm going to try to get Armani to, I'm going to try to get 2 offensive fouls on him early. I'll try to take a charge on him, get him in foul trouble, and then see what Marksville's bench can do. Marksville leans heavily on their first 5, at least what I've seen. Now, they do have a lot of guys that can jump right in there and play with energy, but do those guys on the bench, can they resemble some of the things that the starting lineups can do when they just need a bucket? Ash, they've got, they've had a lot of attention all year. They've had a good seed. They've won some really big games. They've played in even more big games. They've got the number 1 recruit in the state, who's been really impactful on defense and rebounding. There's a lot of things that he can do on offense, and he's, kind of been part of the total offensive package for Ash too. Their other senior, Jarbo Bordelon, he'll be playing college ball next year. He's kind of been their BAM, just kind of their heart and soul on both ends of the floor. Ash lost in the quarters to, I think, the eventual state champion last year in D1 Select, so a tough bracket. But Ash has won some big games. They won the Turling tournament. They beat Bossier last weekend. They had a big win at the Charles Smith Classic, and they even some games they've lost. They lost to Ruston, lost to Marksville, but they beat Peabody. So they've played an absolute top tier schedule. So Ash can do it, but it just, can they push past the quarterfinals with Tyshawn and the rest of that junior senior starting lineup? Peabody, I mean, why not? They're it's not cliche. I mean, they really do have a complete team right now. They have just really that classic, like what you and I grew up with, where you have true point guards, true centers, true small forwards. Like they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Their starting lineup looks kind of like you and I may have been more used to seeing. It's not just like 5 guards or 4 guards in a post. They have a really complete, just traditional starting lineup, and they're all playing really well. It's not just the freshmen that have gotten the attention. Sword, their shooting guard, is really good. Malachi Anderson, one of their kind of just 3-4, just spider, just Spider-Man type guys, can jump and be anywhere all the time. Number 11, I love watching him play. Those are that. Tioga's got a good ranking. What can they do when they run into these just blue blood basketball programs in a tough bracket? We'll have to see. Plainview, who is the defending state champion Class C, they've got two seniors that really play well, Caleb Calhoun and Kendon Markle. So don't count them out in Class C because they beat a lot of good teams on the way to the championship last season. They lost, some production from that team, but you really cannot count them out in Class C right now because of how well some of their seniors are playing, and Georgetown too. Georgetown made a run in that bracket, so you have to keep an eye on them as well. I really like watching Anacoco and Hicks the other day. Those are two teams that, I don't want to play either one of them in Class B. Landon Tinsley is this freshman for Anacoco. His dad is the head coach. He's going to be a ton of fun to watch over the next few years, and he already is. He's a double-double just, as a ninth grader. But Hicks beat him the other night. Hicks is kind of like Buckeye, similar roster, similar style of play. Those are some of the teams that I've just seen this year in Sunlight that I thought could make runs. But I really do think Peabody and Marksville had this kind of rosters that are tailor-made for a tough, 39 to 33 semifinal or final game, there in the middle of March.
Yeah, it'd be fun to be down in Lake Charles if you get Ash, Peabody, Marksville, all these teams from this area down there. That'd be fun to be down there for the state tournament.
Yeah, it's really not. It's easy for us to represent where we're from, but basketball, it's not an exaggeration. Cenla brings some of the best teams in the state. You've proven that. Look at some of these tournaments that some of our guys have been to. Look where Ash has been tournament-wise. Look where Peabody's been, Marksville. Look what they've done. So I think what we're doing in Cenla can travel a couple rounds in the playoffs, all the way from 5A all the way down to C.
Yeah, it's been fun to kind of keep up with the teams from the area. They've represented so well, and that's been fun to watch all year. We appreciate you joining us tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking in the next few weeks as the playoffs get started, and continue the good work with the Red River Roundup. Enjoy seeing all the interviews, seeing you're kind of starting with baseball. I guess that's a little previews or returning players. I've enjoyed looking at that, and keep doing a good job. You're doing good.
Yeah, and same here. I love following the walkthrough for all the sports. I don't usually get off work early enough to cover a lot of girls basketball, but I get to follow the Lady Giants because of what y'all are doing. I'm sure it'll be a ton of fun this spring as well. So, and Gina Marksville will be a great win on Friday night for basketball.
We appreciate you joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Anytime, Austin. Yep. Yes, sir.
Marshall Leffler with the Red River Roundup. Always enjoy visiting with him any season. He's doing a great job with what he has on social media and doing it for all sports. That's what I appreciate. Not just doing it for football. He's doing it for basketball, baseball, softball, and a very good source to have here in Cenla. Can give you kind of you heard it, just an update on all the teams. Did we get into the district standings for boys?
Yeah, let's go into the district standings. District 2-3A on the boys' side. Marksville, of course, good team this year. 22-4 overall, 5-0 in district play. Number 1 in non-select 3. Buckeye, second place right now, 19-5 overall, 4-1 in district play. Number 10, select 2. Bunkie, 11-8, 3-2, 15 in select 2. The Giants, 12-5 overall, 3-2 in district play. Number 13 seed right now. Caldwell, 12-9, 2-4. Number 21, non-select 3. By day at 9-19, 1-4 overall, 30 non-select 3. Top 10 in power rankings, Division 3 non-select. Number 1 is Marksville. 2, Madison. Number 3, Doyle. Number 4, Donaldsonville. Number 5, Red River. Number 6, Mamou. Number 7, St. Helena. Number 8, Avoyelles. Number 9, French Settlement. Number 10, Green Oaks. And, of course, the Giants at number 13. Games Tuesday night. Georgetown defeated Bolton 62-45. Buckeye all over Glenmore 76-49. Bunkie defeated DeVal 64-58. Claiborne Christian 56. Caldwell 48. Gina defeated Grant last night 59-41. Marksville all over St. Joe 82-25. Vidalia defeats Harrisonburg 71-26. In games Friday night, district matchup, Vidalia will travel to Bunkie. Calvin will be at Caldwell, and of course, big matchup here at Guy Campbell Memorial Gymnasium Friday night. Marksville comes to Gina.
As far as making the playoffs, I believe on the boys' side, you're going to get Marksville, Buckeye, Bunkie, Gina, and Caldwell in. Vidalia and Bolton, I think, will be the two that are out. But a very strong district on the boys' side. Marksville, they pretty much won the district championship. Even if we beat them on Friday, Marksville's already beaten Buckeye, so they would win the tiebreaker there. Top 10 of the power ratings. Madison, I'm pretty sure, still has only one loss. So it almost looks like it's going to be a collision course with Marksville and Madison maybe for the state championship in this division. But you got Red River there that was in the Final Four last year. And Richwood, who was the state champion, they're at number 11. They're just outside the top 10. And to me, this division, since they've gone to non-select, select, it's been the most wide open division. It's been teams that were not ranked at the top that have made the runs. And so
Richwood wasn't a favorite to be in it last year, was it?
No, I think Richwood was like maybe a 7 seed or something like that. And I think a couple of years ago when Marksville won it, they were not like one of the top seeds. So it's always kind of been a team that comes from nowhere to win it. So it's always a fun division, fun bracket to watch. But you're seeing some familiar teams there. Like the Red River, the Madison, Marksville. Avoyelles is kind of been up and down, but they're still hanging around there. Gave Marksville a great game in the quarterfinals last year. But should be another fun bracket to watch. Real quick before we go, let's talk a little bit of Gina baseball and softball. Opening day was Monday. Giants had a great start to the week. 2-0. They beat Winfield on Monday, and they beat Franklin Parish last night. And then they'll be playing Franklin Parish tomorrow and Friday as well. But
defeated Franklin Parish 15-7. Carson Willis led with 5 RBIs and hit a 3-run shot in the first inning. Kyler Chevalier had 3 hits. The Giants finished 14 hits overall, 12 walks in the game. Quentin Otwell earned the win on the mound. Bryce Thompson secured the save. And like talked about, Franklin Parish will be coming here tomorrow evening to take on the Giants.
And on Monday, Carson Willis is the only senior on the team, but he has led the way here to start. On Monday, he was 2 for 4, had 3 runs, 2 RBIs. Giants won 10-0. Colin Jensen, who, I mean, we all know he's the ace of the staff. He's your number 1. He pitched 5 innings, gave up only 1 hit, had 7 strikeouts, no walks in that game. So very impressive
start the season.
Yep. I'm seeing some new names here as far as I feel like this is kind of a year where you're going to see new people because we lost a lot of seniors off last year's team. But Quentin Otwell there, a freshman, 2 for 3, 2 runs, 3 RBIs. Jonas Jenkins, he was a starter last year as a freshman, but Kyler Chevalier, he kind of got some playing time towards the end. He was injured at the beginning of the year. But you're seeing some new names there that I feel like we're going to hear about as the season goes on. I think you mentioned Bryce Thompson in the Franklin Parish game, so a freshman there. Yeah. So you're going to see kind of a mixture of freshmen and sophomores getting to the game. And I'm impressed. Coach Joe Hammett, first-year coach for Gina. Now, he's been a long-time coach, but first time at Gina, and has gotten off to a great start.
Great track record coming to Gina.
As far as Lady Giants softball, they have played some
scrimmages.
Yes,
defeated Pineville 8-3 and defeated Menard 15-4 over the weekend.
They on Saturday they will play in the first annual Bayou Jam for softball.
Yeah, and they did baseball last year, so this will be the first year for softball.
And they're still doing baseball this year. I think baseball is this past weekend. But it is softball this year. They are going to play. I think it's at 10.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
And 11:30.
That's right.
It is rain forecasted for Saturday, but I think maybe towards the evening. So you might get Gina's games in that morning. And that's at ULM's fields, on the campus of ULM. So, yeah, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. they'll play against Franklin Parish. At 11:30 they'll play against Mangum. So, and then next week is when the Lady Giants start having games that count towards their record. Where the Gina Giants are 2-0 right now. The games they play, they count.
I think St. Fred may be the first home game. I think.
I believe it is. Yeah. So
exciting year for the Lady Giants. I can't wait. It's gonna be good.
Well, I mean, it's always crazy to me, just like that. We're into baseball and softball.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the year flies by. But yeah, off to a great start. Fun to watch baseball and softball, and proud of these two basketball teams. Both of them going to be in the playoffs. Both teams have a chance to get first round home playoff games. You know, so big years for both teams. Been good for all the athletics. Fun to watch when we get into the playoffs, which Friday night. Pack the gym out like you did for Buckeye. I mean, that was fun to see.
Great atmosphere. It was loud too.
The kids love that. I mean, if you care about the kids and you care about the programs, come out and support. I mean, those kids love when y'all show up and you pack the gym like that. It makes a great atmosphere for them. It's so fun to play in that, and they work their butts off, and they deserve it. So show up on Friday, and then when we get to the playoffs, show up for all the playoff games. Give them a good atmosphere on that one as well. So I really appreciate Coach Garrett Hoffmeyer calling in. Also appreciate Marshall Leffler with the Red River Roundup calling in and being our guest tonight. We'll be back next week, and we'll have Coach Whitman back on next week. Next week we'll probably be able to – we'll know more about basketball, girls basketball playoffs, and we'll kind of have an idea on what the boys will be doing as well. So anything else you got?
All good.
Have a safe trip home, everybody, and remember – be careful on Valentine's Day. Be some rain coming through. Be some storms. So be careful if you're trying to go out on a date or something, date night. So for Brant King, I'm Austin Watley. You've been listening to The Walk there, 1.7 KJNA. Good night, everybody.